At auto collision repair shops, where painting and body repair is a majority of daily operations, emissions can contribute to significant air pollution in and around your shop. Air pollutants may be generated from several sources. First, paints and coatings may contain volatile ingredients, or EPA-regulated hazardous air pollutants, or HAPs. In addition, air pollutants can also result from equipment cleaning solvents, paint thinners and strippers, sanding dust from paint removal, and patching compounds. Contributors to release of these air pollutants include inefficient painting techniques, inefficient filtration and/or ventilation, and inefficient capture of sanding or blasting dust. Short-term exposure to these emissions can cause breathing problems, irritation of the eyes, nose, and throat, headaches, or nausea. Exposure to some of these chemicals over time can cause various health effects, dizziness, and damage to the liver, kidneys, and nervous system. Inadequate emission capture or spill cleanup impacts indoor air quality at the point of use, but can also impact the community. Efficient spray techniques, less toxic coatings, the right equipment, as well as best operational practices maximize employee safety while also reducing waste and emissions. Efficient spraying uses the least amount of raw material possible, resulting in less overspray and filter wastes. Waterborne paints, lower solvent paints, and avoiding iocyanates and heavy metals in paints minimizes employee exposure and air pollutants. Now let's discuss BMPs to achieve pollution prevention in spray paint operations within these areas: spray efficiency, safer coatings and solvents, and cleanup. Spray efficiency training helps shops achieve these benefits along with complying with the EPA's air regulation called the 6H NESHAP. This regulation applies to shops generating EPA hazardous air pollutants during painting or paint stripping. This training is offered by the Pollution Prevention Resource Center, and more info is available via the QR code at the end of this video in English and Spanish. PPRC spray efficiency training provides lectures and hands-on simulated practice covering techniques such as triggering, banding, lead and lag, spray distance, and angle. Additionally, the training covers the different spray equipment features, job setup for atomization to achieve the optimal fan pattern, gun maintenance, record keeping, and filter maintenance. Now let's look at safer paint coatings and solvents. Many shops have successfully converted to water-based paints, primers, and surfacers, with a solvent-based but high solid top coat, typically urethane-based. Water-based paints contain mostly solids and water with only about 10% solvent. Compare this to solvent-based paints, which may be around 80% solvent content. Water-based coating quality and paint matching are excellent. Water-based paints also minimize the need for cleaning solvents for equipment and solvent-based paint thinners. For solvents, paint thinners, and paint strippers, a VOC concentration of 10% or less is best. The VOC content of a product can be found in Section 9 of the SDS. Purchasing 50 state compliant or South Coast certified products will ensure they are under this threshold. In paints, thinners, and paint strippers, avoid chlorinated solvents and these ingredients: methylene chloride, benzene and benzene compounds, toluene, xylene, methanol, and N-methylpyrrolidone found in some paint strippers. To identify whether your solvents contain any of these concerning ingredients, look at Section 3 of the SDS. Chlorinated solvents can be identified by any ingredients that have chlor in the name. EcoBiz staff can also help you review SDS for toxic ingredients. As for cleaning practices, an enclosed spray gun cleaner or comparable cleaning system is required to meet state and federal regulations. If you are using both solvent and waterborne coatings, we recommend using separate equipment for cleaning of each waste stream. Now let's take a look at filters. Paint booth filtration is important. Ensure all spray booths and preparation stations have exhaust fans with 98% filtration. To get the most life out of your paint booth filters, and also not change them out before it's necessary, install a manometer that continuously measures the air pressure in front of and behind the paint booth exhaust filters. This conveniently tells you when to change them out. For paint stripping, use of dry processes are preferable over chemical stripping, and dustless vacuum systems are needed. If chemical stripping is necessary, avoid high VOC paint strippers and any that contain chlorinated solvents, benzenes, or N-methylpyrrolidone. Now let's look at a few operational BMPs for pollution prevention. Standard operating procedures are important and should cover how to handle and manage paints, coatings, and solvents, and instruct staff on paint preparation and paint application. Post the procedures in a visible and accessible location. Never paint or sand outdoors or in unfiltered paint booths. Always prepare paints and coatings according to manufacturer's specifications. Mix only the amount of paints or coatings needed. Disposable paint cup liners can reduce the need for cleaning solvents and save time. Paint with the required PPE per the manufacturer's instructions or safety data sheet. To avoid spills and evaporation, ensure lids are closed on all of the following when not in use: paint solvent product containers, spent rag collection receptacle rag containers, gun cleaners and part washers, spent solvent and other hazardous waste receptacles. Use good inventory tracking to avoid overstock, minimizing waste from expiration of materials. First in, first out inventory also helps minimize expiration loss. Practicing paint BMPs, including spray efficiency, protects the environment and saves money. Reducing and eliminating pollution is important to the health of the Columbia River and all those who depend on it, wildlife and people alike. Reach out to an EcoBiz staff member for assistance or to register for the upcoming trainings.